Hey, what's up everybody? Will, Southern Grails, back at you here with another video. It's one of my favorite things to do. Thanks Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave. This is the Tunes Tag 2022 or Jazz Vinyl Tag. This is fun, man. I love these, and I love seeing the videos that come from this. It's really cool. Again, another excuse to show off some records. Okay, Chris, if you don't know his channel, crawl out of the rock you've been hiding under. You know, you'll see two things: great IPA beer and great jazz records. So let's jump right into it. Chris put these questions together. Let's start it off. 22 questions for 2022. First question is, favorite jazz find of 2021? That's no debate for me. It's this a Garland of Red. It's an original 1956. Man, one of Red Garland's very first records as a lead man. It's just a trio. You guys know I love the trios with Paul Chambers and Art Taylor. This is a beautiful jazz record to have. I'm happy to have it. Try to burn through this really quick. Okay, y'all can come at me for this if you want to. Question 2: favorite reissue of 2021. Personally, I go after original presses. I don't keep up with reissues. I'll let you guys have that, so we'll skip that one. Number 3, favorite new release of 2021. Again, you know, call me snobby. Again, I don't deal with the new releases. Now, let's get into some real. I love these questions. Number 4, a saxophone-led session. This is 1982, recorded in Chicago. Very rare, but so good. And that's Prince Billy Madi Wright. You got that right. 1982 press. Really good. It's got some soul jazz. It's got some bop in it. Man, it's really good. Super rare. This is a really great album. This guy's from Columbus, Georgia. Not far from here. Really good. You got that right, man. This is really good. There's a particular track on here called Tune Weaver. It's either Tune Weaver or Dream Weaver. Yeah, Tune Weaver. Got clean. I just want to say clean that. Woo! Yeah, this is a really great one. It'd have been easy to pick some of the more known saxophone players, but this one just got all the right buttons for me. It's rare. It's a Georgia boy. Great saxophone player. He also plays. He plays the tenor sax, plays the soprano sax, and he plays the flute on here. I think he plays the congos too. He's all over it. That's a good one. Okay, question number 5, a trumpet-led session. I just got this recently. It's 1956. That's Thad Jones, Detroit, New York Junction. Mono, OG, of course. Thad Jones, really, really simple compositions. He's not my favorite trumpet player, but this is just a great trumpet-led lineup. It's got a lot of other good players on here. You got Billy Mitchell on the sax. You got Tommy Flanagan on the piano. Kenny Burrell on the guitar. Oscar Pettiford on the bass. Yeah, Thad Jones comes from a long line. If you know the Jones family, a long line of jazz performers. It's a great one to have. Great trumpet player. Not my favorite trumpet player, but up there. Okay, question number 6, a guitar-led session. I had a lot to choose from, man. I got a lot of good guitar jazz records in my collection, but this one's kind of a standout for me. It's 1965, Grant Green, His Majesty King Funk. Such a great cover too. This is an original on Verve. They also had a mono press. This is a stereo press. But Grant Green, man, one of the best jazz guitarists out there. I like Kenny Burrell, of course. I like Wes Montgomery. Wes Montgomery's got a great story. You know, he was self-taught, which is freaking hard to do. If you ever tried to learn an instrument and try to teach yourself, it's not easy at all. But this one's funky, man. It's a mix of funk, soul, jazz, and Grant Green, boy, he's the man. All right, number 7, piano-led session. This is one of my favorite piano albums. Not particularly one of my favorite piano players. I have to put that up there with probably Monk, or I like Horace Parlan. I like Mal Waldron, which, you know, he doesn't get a lot of praise, but you know, he wrote a lot of good songs. But this one here, 1960s, Southside Soul, the John Wright Trio, original 60 press. Man, dude, this is probably one of the most perfect piano jazz albums, in my opinion. I mean, the compositions on here are just unbelievable. It's kind of a rare album. It's been flying up on people's want lists. Such a good album. John Wright Trio. Anything by John Wright you can find, which is rare. He only put out 4 albums. I need one more. Okay. Question number 8. Organ-led session. I got quite a bit. I'm starting to appreciate the organ more. Especially with the more funky stuff. Man, it just really kind of makes you want to move your hips and swing. But this one, 1970, Lonnie Smith. This is Drives, the original 70 press. I mean, just look at that cover. I mean, this is some funk of the highest order. Spinning Wheel is a good one. Psychedelic Pie. You got Dave Hubbard, Larry McGee, Joe Dukes. Kind of, not a bunch of heavy hitters, but with Lonnie Smith on the organ, really good. Love it. I got The Sermon by Jimmy Smith. I mean, Jimmy Smith's an easy pick for the organ, but man, Lonnie just had that. He just had that funk with it. Okay, question number 9. A trombone-led session. I don't have not one, not two, but these are three trombone leaders on this one. Trombone by 3 with J.J. Johnson, Kai Winding, and Benny Green. And this is an original. What year is this? 1956. Now there's a different version that's got a different cover. That one's just unbelievably rare and expensive. But this one's good. This one was recorded from 1949 to 1951. So really early hard bop in here. They're coming from that transition from the bebop to the hard bop. I mean, this has got a murderous row of people on it. You're talking Sonny Rollins, Kenny Dorham, Max Roach, Gary Mulligan. Yeah. This is great. This is really good stuff. What was I going to say on this? Yeah, the other one. This cover was, I think somebody told me that the guy who did this cover, he did a lot of the Mad magazine. If you remember the Mad magazines from back in the day, he did a lot of art for those. But really cool, man. Really cool. Love trombone. I don't love it. I appreciate it. I mean, it's not up there with like sax and trumpet, but trombone gets a lot of flack. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe you can't. It's almost like you can't be as versatile. Like you can't. I mean, a trombone solo, like your fingers can move faster than what you can pull down on the trombone. I guess. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some records out there with just incredible trombone solos. If you guys know about it, let me know. Okay, a jazz funk record. Man, this was probably a no-brainer. I got a lot of jazz funk, but this one's probably the most funkiest one that I got. 1973's The Coffee Soundtrack by Roy Ayers. This is original press. Of course, all these mostly gonna be original presses, but man, this is some really funky stuff. Love it. Okay, a jazz fusion record. This album's unbelievable. I love it. It's his debut. And that's Weldon Irvine, Liberated Brother. This 72 press on Nodlu, which is his name backwards. Man, it's got traditional jazz sounds with some funk bass licks, and there's even some blues piano that he throws in there. Unbelievable. Prices on these, dude, have been skyrocketing. A couple of years ago, you could get this for $200-300, and now people are asking $700, $1,000 for sealed copies. Historical jazz. Okay, let's see. Number 12, an underappreciated album by an artist that you love. I love this album. I love this artist. It's Horace Silver. This record's not on a lot of people's want list. I don't get it. I love it. That's the Horace Silver Quintet. The Jody Grind. Really good. Yeah, I don't get it. It's, you know, it's not an expensive album. It's kind of rare, kind of, you know, but it's not on a lot of people's want list, and you can get a really clean copy relatively cheap, you know, $50, get you a good VG Plus copy. Yeah, Horace Silver. Don't get it. Okay, number 13, a live jazz album. This was up there with Alkebulan on Strata East. I got some Coltrane. Live albums that are okay, but this one just kind of has a much better story. It's 1969. That's the Tanner Suite. Lloyd McNeil and Marshall Hawkins. These were limited to 1,000 copies. They played this live at the Smithsonian for the Henry Tanner exhibit, which, God, that would have been a black tie affair, you know, high society. I would have loved to have been at that, because I enjoy art, and this is just a beautiful album, you know, just with Tanner on the with McNeil on the flute and Hawkins on the bass. So beautiful. Would have loved to have been there. All right. Oh, let's see. Number 14, a supergroup. Now, this one was kind of tough. I had a few to choose from. That Trombone by Three could have been a supergroup, because it is just flooded. But I think this one was probably the best one that I got to be considered a supergroup. 1957's Taylor's Wailers. Of course, original on Prestige. But dude, you got Donald Byrd, Jackie McLean, John Coltrane, Red Garland, Paul Chambers. Just a murderer's row. Charlie Rouse on the sax, Ray Bryant on the piano too, Wendell Marshall on the bass. This is really, really, really good stuff. And rare, of course. These don't come up for sale often. So that's probably one of the better kind of super groups that I got. Okay, number 15, favorite artist as a sideman. Now this isn't my favorite, you know, artist, but he's my favorite trumpet player. He's my favorite trumpet player. You know, he beats out Lee Morgan. You know, he beats out Thad Jones. Even Hannibal Marvin Peterson, which I got high regard for, is a great trumpet player. This guy's tone is just unmatched. That's Clifford Brown, guys. So this is +4. Sonny Rollins. This is an original 1956 press, but Clifford Brown, I think this is one of the last albums that he did before him and Richie Powell ended up in that car accident, and we lost Clifford. Yeah, way too young. God, I would have loved to have heard what he would have done, you know, going into the 60s, going into the, you know, to the funk, you know, into the free jazz of the late 60s and early 70s. Would have loved to hear that, but unfortunately, you know, Destiny had other plans for him. This is a great one with him as a sideman. This is a great album. Sonny Rollins, man. Okay, number 16, a jazz album more people should know about. That's 1956's Toshiko Akiyoshi. Now, she was a piano player from Japan, moved over here from the U.S., very popular in Japan. When she came over, it was kind of, you know, wasn't hardly any, if at all, female jazz musicians, and she really showed her ass. She's a great piano player. It's on that Storyville label. Now, this is her second album. I got something a little more rare. This is actually her very first album. This is called Toshiko's Piano. It's a 10-inch on that our Norgan Records. This is super rare. It's been really climbing on people's want lists. I mean, it's not high. There's not like 1,000 people that want it, but it wasn't that long ago that it only was on 60, and now it's up to like 175, which is pretty significant, especially for 10s. Not a lot of people play 10s, but this is really good. You know, Anything you can find by her, definitely pick up. Toshiko Akiyoshi. All right. Let's see. Number 17, an album by a jazz artist that should be bigger. Yeah, I was surprised. This one's it's not expensive. It's rare. It's not on a lot of people's want lists, and it's freaking good. 1958's Manteca for the Red Garland Trio. This is original stereo press. Yeah, really good, man. It's got a Latin feel to it. I mean, Red Garland is just doing what he does. I mean, you got Art Taylor on the drums, Paul Chambers plucking the bass, and Ray Barretta on the conga in every single track. Gives it that great swinging Latin feel. I don't know why it's not. I think this is a heater. I mean, I feel like this should be, this should be up there a little more. I mean, if you like that Latin, the subtle Latin feel to it, this is a great album. All right, we're almost done. A vocal jazz album. If you guys watch my videos, this should be an easy one. It's the Helen. It's the Helen Merrill. It's an original 55. I mean, this is an unbelievable, probably one of the best vocal jazz albums out there. It's got like Clifford Brown on it. Clifford Brown, his solos and every one of these songs is unbelievable. The microphone that she's using, sent down from heaven, her voice is sultry, smooth, really just grips you from your chest. It really does. This is such a beautiful album. Jazz collectors, the vocal jazz collectors will trade their one of their organs to have this, and I'm really happy to have this. This is kind of unbelievable. I found 3 of these in probably the last year and a half, just out in the wild. It's unbelievable. Helen Merrill. Anything by her. Her voice is so good. Okay, number 19, a jazz album not many talk about, but you love. Now this one's the sound is a little different. It's rare, but this is some West Coast jazz, and that's Jimmy Woods' Awakening. This is a 1962 on Contemporary. The West side, the West Coast sound is a little different. I've heard some people say it's more like supermarket jazz. I've heard that before. I don't know what that means. I guess more like smooth jazz, but it's not. It's not. He did another album with Elvin Jones called Conflict. I got it. That's a great album too. I was kind of wanting to show that, but everybody knows Elvin Jones, even though that one's a rare one. But The Awakening, or just Awakening. Jimmy Woods. He didn't put out a lot. I think this is the only album that he put out where he was the lead man. So good. Okay. Question 21, a new release you're looking forward to. Again, I don't deal with new releases. Sorry everybody. Now, this last question. This is a great question. I love this. This is really gonna dig into the psyche of you record collectors. If your house was on fire, which album would you grab? Now, sure, there's gonna be people out there that say, "Oh, I'd grab my kids and this and that, and I would just let the house burn." Of course, of course that'd be the moral thing to say. But if you're running past your records on your way out the door, and you had 30 seconds to dig through and grab one, that's such a great question. Mine, there's no hesitation. The prize record in my collection, and that's 1970s. The Stark Reality. Discovers Hoakie Carmichael's music shop. This is just an unbelievable. This is the greatest record I've ever heard in my life. I haven't heard anything close to it. It's got everything you want. It's got funk. It's got jazz licks. It's just the play from everybody is just on another level. These people are possessed. Abercrombie on the guitar, Monty Stark on the xylophone. I mean, these guys are just, it's unbelievable. So this would be the one that I would grab. I'd let everything else burn. All right, that was it. That was fun. Thank you, Chris. Tunes from the Man Cave. Tunes Tag 2022. I can't wait to see you other guys' videos. This was fun. So appreciate it, Chris. We'll see you.